Hi students and parents, welcome. You are about to watch the first bar model video called Adding Bar Models. This bar model that I'm about to talk to you about is the simplest bar model. It is the bar model that we started using at the beginning of the year. So first of all, to begin, you might be asking, what is a bar model? Simply, a bar model is a way to visually represent math problems, okay? And we use these bar models to help us solve real world problems, okay? You are probably wondering now, what's a real world problem? Well, here is an example of a real world problem, okay? This story here is basically a math problem, but in words. Okay, you have to read it, you have to choose the important information, and then solve it. And the great thing about bar models is that they help you organize the information from the story so that you can figure out whether you're going to be adding or subtracting, dividing, multiplying. So once you really understand the concept of bar models and how to organize them and how to label them, real world problems are going to be really easy for you. Okay? So, we're not really going to be solving this problem just yet. Let's go back to the first screen, and we're going to go back and we're going to actually solve something really, really easy. We're going to be solving 5 plus 3. Okay? 5 plus 3, I'm going to use a bar model to represent these numbers. So I'm going to start by making my parts. Okay, bar models have parts. So this is one part, okay, and we're going to go ahead and actually label it part. Okay, it's a part. Part. And we're going to label this bar the other part. Okay. There we go. So what I have done right now is I have put two parts together. And when I put two parts together, I get one whole bar. Okay? This blue bar, we're going to label that blue. And this red bar, I'm going to label it red. Okay? My two parts. So this part, this part represents the number 5. Okay? And this part represents the number 3. These numbers came from our problem that we're trying to solve, 5 plus 3. This whole is my question mark. The reason this whole gets a question mark is because we don't know the answer yet. We haven't solved the problem. Right now we're just organizing our bar model. Okay? Now that I have organized my bar model, I have my brackets. These are brackets. I have my numbers. My numbers. And I have my question mark, which is the answer that I'm looking for. The next thing I need to do is I need to show my work. So I need to solve my problem, basically. So 5 plus 3, I'm going to use the count on method. So I'm going to put 5 in my head, and I'm going to add 3 more. So that's 6, 7, 8. My answer is 8. 5 plus 3 equals 8. So I'm going to go back to my question mark. This is not a question mark anymore. Now I know that the answer is 8. Okay? What I have just shown you is a very, very basic bar model. Okay? In a bar model, we have parts, usually just 2 parts, two parts, and then when those two parts are put together, you create a whole bar, okay? And within the bar model, you need to label each part. This, for example, this is blue, this is red, and then you also need to label what each bar represents. For example, this bar represented 5, and this bar represented 3. And then this whole bar represented our question mark, okay, which was our total, right? These are the basic parts of a bar model. The next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to read a real-world problem and solve it using a bar model, okay? Ready? All right, so let's reread this real-world problem, okay? Daniel used 234 liters of water to fill the baby pool. Okay, so this piece of information is important to us, okay? I'm going to, let's see if I can highlight that. I can't find the highlighter. Never mind. Okay, so this is important to us. Let's remember that. I can underline it. There we go. And let's keep reading. He also used 45 liters of water to fill the fish tank. Okay, so this is also going to be important information. Good. How many liters of water did Daniel use altogether? Okay, sorry. Altogether is another clue, so I'm going to underline that. Okay, when I hear altogether, usually the problem is asking me to add. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my bar model. Before anything else, I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to use this bar to represent either the baby pool or the fish tank. Haven't decided yet. This bar here is going to represent one of those also. I'm going to put them together. These are my two parts, okay? Clearly, one part is way bigger than the other one. So, if I look back at my information, I know that the baby pool is 234 liters and the fish tank is only 45 liters. So, that means I'm going to label the big bar baby pool. Okay? And I'm going to label the fish tank, I'm going to label the little bar fish tank. Okay? Now, after that, I'm going to label. I'm going to continue labeling, but now I'm going to label with numbers. Okay? So the baby pool is 234 liters. Let's change this to add L. Whoops. Go. And the fish tank was 45 liters. Okay, so now I've labeled my numbers. My whole, I want to know, the question, let's go back to the question. The question is asking me, how many liters of water did Daniel use all together? So I'm going to be adding, and I'm putting this part and this part together. So that means I don't know what this is. This is my question here. I don't know what Daniel used altogether. Okay? I am now finished labeling my bar model. I have my parts. I have my parts labeled with words, with numbers, and then I have my question mark as well. Okay? The next thing that I'm going to do, or that I need to do, is I'm going to solve my problem. So I need to show my work. So 234 plus 45 Okay, so I'm going to start with 4 plus 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. Easy. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay, my next one is 3 plus 4 is 7. So that is, here we go, I write my answer here. And then 2 plus nothing is 2. Okay, so here's my answer. 234 plus 45 equals 279. Great. So I'm going to go back to my question mark. And now this is not a question mark. It is, I know the answer now. The baby pool and the fish tank altogether is 79 liters. Okay? So this is essentially an adding bar model where you have two parts and then you need to find out the whole. Okay? Before we end this video, I want to show you a really quick checklist. Okay? Here, this is a checklist of some of the things that you should think about while you're solving a real world problem. 1, you should label using words. For example, here we labeled with words. You should label using numbers with brackets. For example, here we have the brackets with the number labels. And you should also label the question mark. Okay, so here was our question mark. And then finally, you should always show your work. How did you solve it? Did you add? Did you subtract? And in this case, we added to solve the problem. Okay, so that's the end of our video. I'm so happy that you were able to listen to this video. Please watch it again if you had any questions or any problems with it. And if you do have any questions, let me know and I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.